Hi, my name's Lade. I live in Mather House. I study human developmental and regenerative biology and with a minor in global health and a citation in French. And I grew up in Macon, Georgia, but my family is from Nigeria. So I think one of my biggest commitments has been the Nigerian Students Association. And I've been on the board since sophomore year, but I've been involved with the organization since my freshman year. And I think the NSA was really like a home away from home for me, especially freshman year, just like having some jollof rice or just like listening to other people talk about like things that Nigerian kids face. And I always liked it because not only Nigerians come to NSA things, so people bring their other African friends or other friends in general who want to learn more about the culture. So it's been a really big part of my time here at Harvard. And I think besides NSA, I've done a lot of health-related things, and so I'm pre-med, so a lot of extracurricular things related to that. But one of my favorite Harvard memories was being on Mather HOCO. So HOCO is the house committee, and we plan like social events for our dorm. And my co-chair was actually Harriet, and so we planned all the parties, we DJ'd everything. It was a lot of fun. So. Yeah, I think besides that, I try to do other cultural things. So like I have a small Bollywood obsession, so I did Gunguru one time. I would go to like Asian student events with my freshman roommates. And then I like went to Honduras one time for a global health trip. So a lot of different things with many cultures. Yeah, so on research, I think it's really important to know that Harvard has a lot of resources, and especially in the HDRB department, there are a lot of opportunities for students to work in labs during the semester or during the summer. But the key thing is to apply for funding early. So luckily, my sophomore summer, I got a global health grant. And so even though it was global health, I could do scientific research. So I stayed in Boston working in a lab that I ended up writing my thesis in. And then the next summer I did Harvard College Research Program, the summer program. And so I got research funding for that. And then that Harvard College Research Program also has term time grants. So if you want like a semester job that's still academic, you can actually be paid to work in a lab, which is something that I didn't even know until it was too late, basically. Besides that, there are a lot of different ways to do research, either science or not, at Harvard during the summer or during the semester. You just have to look at the databases and look at them well in advance, so like probably in January or late December, so that you have all the options open for you. But yeah, I think it's really nice to have a research opportunity because for me, I got to get off campus and have a professional experience, and my lab is in the medical school, so it's just a completely different environment. I was the only student there, so I was interacting with a lot of older people who taught me a lot, and I really enjoyed that. So freshman summer, I actually had the opportunity to go to China, and I applied for the program because my roommate was from China, and I thought it would be cool to go visit her in the summer. So I did this volunteering program through the Harvard China Fund, and I was in China for about 2 months total, but I was doing this program for 1 month, and we traveled throughout the country learning the language and culture, and then we went to teach English in rural high schools. And then I also did HSILP, which is a summer program in Beijing or Shanghai, which is a Harvard-run student program for high school students. So I combined those two programs to stay in China for about 2 months, and it was really fun. And then sophomore summer, I did research here in Boston with the Harvard Global Health Institute. So I was doing science research, but also learning a lot about the field of global health every week. And then junior summer, I studied for the MCAT, which is the medical school entrance exam, while writing my thesis research here in Boston. So I got a Harvard College Research Program grant for that. So I'm pre-med and I want to become a doctor one day, but during junior year I decided that I wanted to take a gap year. So I decided that I wanted to do something else for a year before I started medical school. And so I decided that I wanted to have a lot of options. So I went to consulting things at the beginning of the year. I got a lot of business clothes for that. And then I also applied to jobs in global health fields and other fields that I was interested in, like international development, which is they're all tied together, like economics and things like that. And then I also applied for fellowships. And then the key thing for senior year is to know that all of these things are happening in parallel. So I started my fellowships applications in the summer, and I also started applying for consulting and other jobs like at the beginning of the semester. So they're all kind of happening in parallel. So luckily I had a few options, and I decided to accept a Fulbright grant to France. So I'll be teaching English in Paris next year, and I'm really excited about that because I've been learning French for a long time, but I haven't had the chance to be immersed in a French-speaking culture. So I'll be there for a year and applying to medical school before I leave and during, so that by the time I come back, I'll start medical school. So one good Harvard memory was Harvard-Yale senior year. And I would just say, if you come here, every time it's at Yale, you need to go. Because sophomore year I didn't go, I had too much work to do. But senior year, it was a lot of fun. They have a really cool black tailgate, and so everybody comes from Harvard and Yale, all the African Students Association, Black Students Association, everybody's together, and they have a lot of food and a DJ, and it's just a really good time. I think just all the times that I've had to spend with my friends in Mather, I think the residential community here is really strong, and the school really tries to foster a good environment. And so being on HOCO with Harriet, or just hanging out with other friends in the dining hall and doing different events together, that was a lot of fun. I've been really involved in my campus ministry, which is, it's not a Harvard specific group, but it's Boston wide, so I have a lot of friends who go to other colleges too, because we all go to church together. And so that's been a really good part of my time here also. I've also enjoyed being on IM crew. I did it sophomore year and then this year. And I think an advice that I would give to anyone planning to come to Harvard is that you should just try and do things that you wouldn't expect yourself to do, like in a good way. So for example, freshman year, I joined the freshman a cappella group. I've never sung in public before, but I made a lot of friends through that who are still my friends today. Another fun experience I had here was IM crew. So we would have rowing practices at like 6 a.m. and have to wake up at 5 something to get ready in time. But for me, I never rowed before, but I just thought this is something that I want to do. And it was really one of my favorite Harvard experiences. It's a really good exercise, and you get to see Boston in a different way because you're on the water. But every year, HASA has this cultural show called Africa Night. And I think that if you're coming to Harvard, it's a really fun thing to do, to get involved in. And freshman year, I just have this distinct memory of being in the fashion show. And so HASA coordinated some designers from New York to come to Boston and bring their clothing lines. And so it was just really cool to see the ways that people can be innovative with fashion and with art, and I was really happy to be. I think something that I would have wanted to know as a freshman was that I don't need to like compare myself to other people. I think I would see like other people or other upperclassmen and all their friend groups and think like, oh, I don't have that friend group yet, like what if I never do? And they knew each other since freshman year. But I think really looking back, you just have to let things be as they are, because a lot of my friends, they've all come in along the way. So I think I would say that just to like enjoy the time that you have and not always compare yourself to other people or put so much pressure on yourself. Even academically, I would advise freshmen to go to office hours, get to know your professors, have a meal with them or coffee with them, because you know you're forming strong networks through that. And then also when you have a question about your class, you won't be as intimidated to ask them. So I would say start going to office hours early on in the semester so you can build that relationship. Also, I would say just meet a lot of people, have fun, Harvard is an academic environment, but it's also very fun too. So I would advise freshmen to somehow find that balance for themselves early. I would like to say thank you and give a shout out to some of the seniors when I was a freshman. So Ala, Emanuela, Akane, all of those guys. And then also other people who were here during my time, like Ape, Karin, Kimberly, Arakwa. People who just really advised me as upperclassmen and pushed me to do different things academically and extracurricularly. So thank you guys for that.
Yay! And we're done.
Could even speak about something embarrassing that happened to you.
I could. Do embarrassing things happen to me? Oh,
Look at you
okay.
being all flawless all the time. Nothing embarrassing.
Yo, I've had some embarrassing research things in Harvard labs, but that's not really fun. It's just whatever.
Embarrassing.
Yeah. I seriously. No, I think I've made a lot of good friends here. Maybe in a few years somebody will come back into the picture. Okay, don't put that in there though. Don't. I'm begging you. Put in the bloopers.
Oh my god,